Hi guys, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, back in my cider shed with some more cider to try. And it's one that we've never had in the shed before. From a producer we've never had in the shed before. And the producer is Llanblethian Orchards. There you go. And the Vale of Glamorgan, between Llanblethian and Cowbridge. The cider maker's name is Alex Simmons. It's one bloke. I rocked up at a tiny barn that he'd renovated himself, which must have taken him ages. He had it about 10 years. And then I watched him do a bit of welding because he was converting a horse box into a bar, very busy. And then we went inside and then we tried some ciders out of various fermenters. We have tried this Perry before, but not in the shed. It was in the cider shack. The cider shack at Ross. On why, a few films ago, I'll put the number on the screen. That was the Helen's Early single varietal. Now, you may notice something. Look at my stubby cork. Look at my stubby cork. I've had an incident with the cork. So, I'm going to try and take it out with this. It might take ages, and I might have to edit the film accordingly. But let's try it and get this cork out. So, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. I decided to take you back in time to the cider making traditions and orchards of the past. Well regarded historic cider apple varieties picked when perfectly ripe, fermented slowly using cold racking method, then bottled naturally, carbonated and aged. So we're expecting some fizz. I don't know how fizzy it is though, but the cork could be just like well wedged in. 6.1%, made with 100% juice, unfiltered, unpasteurised, no added water. Fruit varietals, Stork Red, which I think makes up the massive amount of it. Kingston Black, Sweet Coppin, Brown's Apple, Ashmead's Kernel, and Pen Khaled, which I've never heard of. Sounds like a Star Wars character, but I'll put something on the screen about that one. So Stork Red, bitter sharp. Kingston Black, bitter sharp. Sweet Coppin, eater, I think, dessert. Brown's Apple, sharp. Ashmead's Kernel, eater. Pen Khaled, don't know. So, anything else on here? No, that's all. It's called Hiraeth. Hiraeth, I think. I tried to say it 3 different ways. I think I just said it exactly the same 3 times there. So, let's see if we can open this sucker. Come on, sucker. Open. So, I mean, it's a cork, so it should just be out of the cork. Then take it out of the cork, so shouldn't I? Yes, Chris, you should. So, there's it go. What's in there? A bit far. Come on. Alright. Oh, here we go. Pop! Way! Oh man, that has got some spark. It's just, look at the smoking gun, man. That's a smoking gun. There are the bubbles. So yeah, just the cork was well wedged in. Boom! Let's pour it out. There's quite a bit of sediment sort of pecked in sort of in the bottom there. But, don't bother me. Let's pour it out. Oh, nice fizz. Nice fizz. Cold racked, so one assumes it's going to be, yeah, sweet pet nap. So cold racking, it's like it's an alternative to, I mean, most people who watch this are cider geeks, I get it, but just in case anyone's watching, so cold racking, it's sort of a bit like keeving. It's an alternative for keeving where you just take out yeast and nutrients, so the cider can't fully ferment, the yeast can't eat all the sugar because they haven't got the nutrients and there's not enough yeast in there anyway. So you have a stalled fermentation, so you get a naturally sweet cider because all the sugar isn't turned to alcohol. So that's what Alex is doing with this. So Alex planted 100 trees of various descriptions in the Vale of Glamorgan on his piece of his parents' land, basically. He just scattergun just to see what would work because he didn't know what would grow well there because it's a very particular terroir. So some worked, some didn't work. So it's still a learning curve, and he planted them like 15 plus years ago, the trees. So anyway, so there you go. Nice colour. Oh, Chris, thingamajig, please. There you go. Get your hand out of the way, please, Chris. Come on. There you go. Nice colour. Amber. That's what we like to see in a proper cider. So this should be naturally sweet. And the bubbles look like they're going to be mighty fine. Big mousse. Solid tannins. Really solid tannins. So Stork Red is a bit of sharp. So you're going to expect a bit of a zip of acidity in this. And it does have some reasonable residual sugar, but because of the acidity, it totally offsets it. It totally offsets it. It's like one just wipe out the other. So you have something which is really balanced. That is refreshing, I must say. Probably a bit too cold, if anything. Massive mousse. Man, that cork must have been well jammed in, because this has got some sparkle to it. So I'm surprised they didn't just force the cork out, normally, as you would expect. Great apple character, decent acidity, and it does feel like a green acidity, more like a malic acidity than a lactic acidity. Absolutely. Lovely, fresh, crisp apple character, what you'd expect from a Stoke Red. Alex also said that Stoke Red's quite low in nutrient, so they tend to be good for this sort of thing because it's quite easy to stall the fermentation. And we have one and that actually happened with this one, this Stoke Red, from Ross-on-Wye, which is from 2019. So actually, when this was sold, and on the label it says it's sweet because the fermentation stalled. In fact, it has now fully fermented, so it's actually dry, crisp, bright, closer to this but with less sugar, and it does not conform to the label whatsoever. If you want to buy 2 interesting bottles off my website, get one of them, compare and contrast. That would be fun. I'd like to do it now, but I've got to sell these. I can't just drink everything. I can't get high in my own supply too often. So yeah, this is a pretty good intro to Alex's stuff. Although we did the Helen's Early, the pouch of Perry, but that was still, and it was Perry. This is the first cider we've done. It's the first sparkling cider we've done from him. Yeah, and it's a quaffer. It is a quaffer. Yeah, you get the sweetness, then you get that mouth-watering acidity, and it just when she makes it want to go back for more, a bit more sugar, then a bit more acidity. Boom, boom, boom. Great for the upcoming hot weather. Fingers crossed. So there you go. That was a pretty good introduction to a bottle conditioned cider from Alex Simmons at Llanblethian Orchards. Thank you, Alex. Did I say it right? Llanblethian. I did, yeah. Llanblethian Orchards. Boom. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me back in my cider shed. I do hope you join me again. But until that time, cheers.